Captain Nathaniel Reed knew his ship inside and out. Every creak, every hum of the Horizon's engines had become a familiar melody over his 15 years in deep space. So when something sounded off in Cargo Bay 3, his instincts flared immediately. "Run diagnostic on Bay 3, he commanded. Setting his coffee down on the worn control panel, diagnostic complete. Anomalous heat signature detected. The ship's AI responded with mechanical precision, Nathaniel single quotes. His hand moved to the blaster at his hip as he approached the cargo bay. Smuggling was common in this sector, and stowaways were rarely friendly. As the door slid open, he tensed, weapon drawn. Come out now," he called firmly. "I know you're here." For a moment, silence hung in the recycled air. Then, from behind a stack of supply crates, a figure emerged slowly. Nathaniel's breath caught in his throat. She wasn't human. Her skin shimmered with a pale blue luminescence, patterns shifting across her surface like constellations in motion. Large, almond-shaped eyes regarded him with unmistakable fear. "Please," she whispered, her voice melodic, yet strained. "Don't return me to them." Nathaniel noticed the marks around her wrists, evidence of restraints in the torn garment bearing. An insignia he recognized with distaste, the Dracnian Empire, notorious for their slave trade. "I'm Talira," she continued, trembling slightly. "I escaped during the transfer at Centauri Station. I can serve you. I'll work. I'm skilled with engines better than most in the 7 systems." Nathaniel holstered his weapon slowly. "I don't need servants," then a crew member, she pleaded, taking a desperate step forward. "Your propulsion system is operating at 70% efficiency." "I can hear it." He raised an eyebrow, impressed despite himself. "And you can fix that?" With minimal resources, Talira confirmed, her luminescence brightening slightly with hope. Nathaniel studied her. Harboring an escaped slave from the Dracnians meant trouble. The kind that ended with his ship confiscated and his body ejected into space. Yet something in her desperate gaze stirred something forgotten within him. "The Dracnians will be searching," he stated flatly. "Yes," she admitted. "But I can mask my energy signature. They won't detect me unless they board." Nathaniel sighed, running a hand through his dark hair. "Why should I risk my ship, my life, for someone I just met?" Talira's luminescence dimmed. "Because you know it's right." She hesitated. "And because the Dracnians hunt me for more than labor. I'm Limidian, the last of my kind. What they want from me would shift the balance of power in this sector." Nathaniel's eyes widened slightly. Limidians were thought extinct. Their energy manipulation abilities, the stuff of space legends. Before he could respond, the ship's alarm blared. "Proximity alert? Dracnian vessel approaching, requesting docking clearance," announced the AI. Talira's eyes met Nathaniel's, terror evident in their depths. "Please," she whispered. "I'll serve. I'll stay. I'll be yours. Just don't let them take me." Nathaniel's decision would change both their fates irrevocably. "Hide," he said finally, gesturing toward his private quarters. "And we'll see about that engine upgrade." As the Dracnian ship drew nearer, Nathaniel Reed prepared his lies and wondered what constellation of troubles he'd just invited aboard. Pursuit through the nebula, the Horizon shuddered as another energy pulse grazed its shields. In the cockpit, Nathaniel's hands flew across the controls, while Talira worked frantically to reroute power from non-essential systems. "They're gaining," Nathaniel warned, banking the ship sharply toward the crimson gases of the Valkyr Nebula looming ahead. "Most ships wouldn't follow us in there," Talira said, her skin pulsing with nervous energy that cast blue light across the instrument panels. "Commander Vex isn't commanding most ships," Nathaniel replied grimly. 3 days had passed since he'd denied the Dracnians access to search his vessel. 3 days of running, Tal Iris stingled quotes as delicate fingers danced across the engine control matrix she'd modified. "The nebula's radiation will damage their systems worse than ours, with my modifications." Nathaniel shot her an appreciative glance. In those 3 days, she'd improved his ship's efficiency by nearly 30%. "You weren't exaggerating about your skills." A small smile graced her luminescent features. "Limidians are connected to energy at a fundamental level. Machines speak to us. As they plunged into the nebula's swirling crimson depths, visibility dropped to near zero. Static crackled through communications, and sensor readings became unreliable. "Need to get closer to the engines," Talira said suddenly. "I can guide us through by feeling the radiation patterns." Nathaniel hesitated. "You'll be exposed to dangerous levels." Their eyes met in the dim blue glow of her skin. "I can handle it. Trust me." Something in her gaze made decision easy. "Go," he nodded. Alone in the cockpit, Nathaniel flew blind while evading phantom sensor ghosts. Through the ship's internal communication, Talira guided him with uncanny precision. "Port side, 60 degrees down," her voice directed. "Radiation pocket ahead. Avoid." They danced through the nebula this way for hours. Hunter and hunted, predator and prey. Gradually, the Drachnian vessel fell behind, its less adapted systems failing in the nebula's harsh embrace. When they emerged on the distant side, Talira returned to the cockpit, exhausted but triumphant. Her luminescence had dimmed considerably from the effort. "Did it," Nathaniel said softly, reaching for her hand without thinking. She didn't pull away. Her touch sent a pleasant warmth through his fingers. "We did it." In that moment of shared victory, something shifted between them. Nathaniel noticed details he'd overlooked before: the graceful curve of her jaw, the depth in her iridescent eyes. "Why are the Drachnians so determined to recapture you specifically?" he asked as she settled into the co-pilot's chair. Talira's luminescence dimmed further. "Limidians can manipulate energy, but I can create it. They were using me to power weapons of unimaginable destruction." "You're not a battery," Nathaniel said firmly, anger rising at the thought. "To them, that's exactly what I am." Her voice grew quiet. "Commander Vex has spent years experimenting on me, trying to weaponize my abilities." Nathaniel's hand tightened around hers. "He'll have to go through me first." Surprise flickered across Talira's face, her patterns briefly brightening. "You barely know me." "I'm starting to," he replied simply. The ship's navigational system beeped, indicating their approach to the Persephone outpost, a haven for those avoiding Imperial entanglements. "You'll find allies there," Nathaniel promised, "and supplies." Talira's luminescence pulsed once, like a heartbeat. "Thank you for not turning me away," Nathaniel smiled. "Best stowaway I've ever had." Persephone outpost hung suspended in the shadow of a massive gas giant, its rotating rings connected by transparent tubes that glowed with artificial daylight. Nathaniel guided the horizon to a discreet docking bay on the station's underside. "My contact here is named Olivia Santos," Nathaniel explained as they prepared to disembark. "She's a xenobiologist and an old friend. She'll help us." Talira adjusted the hood of her cloak, concealing her luminescent skin. "Can she be trusted?" "With our lives," he assured her. "She's helped many escape the Drachnians before." They moved through the crowded market levels, Nathaniel protectively close to Talira. Her fingers brushed against his occasionally, sending pleasant warmth through him each time. Dr. Olivia Santos welcomed them into her laboratory with minimal questions, her sharp eyes taking in Talira's disguised form with scientific interest. "A Lumidian," she breathed when Talira revealed herself in the privacy of Olivia's sealed lab. "Extraordinary. The energy patterns in your bioluminescence are unlike anything in recorded xenobiology. Can you help mask her presence?" Nathaniel asked. "The Drachnians are tracking her somehow." Olivia nodded, already gathering equipment. "They've likely implanted a quantum resonance tag. Difficult to detect, impossible to remove except by me." While Olivia worked, Nathaniel monitored Persephone's incoming traffic. "Drachnian shuttle just requested docking clearance," he reported grimly. "They found us quickly," Talira said, wincing as Olivia scanned the base of her skull. "Found it," Olivia announced. "Removing it will be painful, but brief." Nathaniel moved to Talira's side, offering his hand. "I'm here." Talira's fingers intertwined with his as Olivia worked, her skin flaring bright with pain. Nathaniel held her gaze, unflinching, absorbing her anguish in shared silence. When it was done, Olivia displayed the tiny, pulsing device. "Ingenious and cruel," she commented. "It was sending your biometric data constantly." Talira rubbed her neck, her luminescence gradually stabilizing. Will they still be able to track us? Not specifically, Olivia replied. But Commander Vex isn't one to abandon a hunt. You should rest tonight and leave by morning. Olivia showed them 2 modest quarters adjacent to her lab. A single room with 2 sleeping platforms. I can find alternate arrangements, Nathaniel offered awkwardly when they were alone. Talira's luminescence pulsed with something new, not fear or pain, but a gentle rhythm he hadn't seen before. Stay, she said softly. Please. They sat together on one platform, the silence between them charged with unspoken feelings. On my world. Before its destruction, Talira finally said, "This luminescence was considered beautiful." Nathaniel's hand moved to trace the patterns on her arm. "It is beautiful. You are." Her skin brightened beneath his touch. "Among my people, this response happens only when ... double quotes. When what?" he asked, voice low. "When we find someone our energy resonates with," she whispered. Nathaniel leaned closer, drawn by understanding deeper than words. Talira ... Their lips met gently, her luminescence flaring brilliantly around them. For that moment, Persephone disappeared, the Draconians forgotten. There was only this connection, this impossible resonance between human and Lumidan. As they parted, Talira's patterns swirled in complex emotions. "I never expected to find this, especially with a human." Nathaniel smiled. "I never expected you at all." Outside, Commander Vex's forces began their methodical search of Persephone. Drawing ever closer to the sanctuary that sheltered the fugitives and their newborn feelings, the betrayal morning arrived too quickly on Persephone's artificial cycle. Nathaniel and Talira prepared the horizon for departure while Olivia gathered supplies and information. "Commander Vex has implemented station-wide security protocols," Olivia reported, entering the ship with a worried expression. "They're checking all departing vessels." Talira's luminescence dimmed with concern. "We won't get past their scanners." "Actually, you might," came a voice from behind them. A tall, gaunt man with cybernetic implants stood in the docking bay. Jorik, Olivia's assistant. Nathaniel's hand moved instinctively toward his blaster. Something about Jorik had always set him on edge. "The maintenance tunnels," Jorik continued, seemingly oblivious to Nathaniel's distrust. "They lead to emergency launch tubes. Small vessel like yours could slip out undetected." Olivia nodded slowly. "It's risky, but possible." Nathaniel and Talira exchanged glances, their newfound connection allowing silent communication. Something felt wrong. "We'll take our chances with the main bay," Nathaniel decided firmly. Jorik's expression flickered with irritation. "That's suicide. Yet here we are, choosing it anyway," Nathaniel replied. Positioning himself between Jorik and Talira, the tense moment was shattered by Persephone's alarm system blaring. "Attention all personnel. Security breach in Sector 7. Draconian forces have entered the station. Sector 7, exactly where Jorik's maintenance tunnels would have led them." "You sold us out," Nathaniel growled. Drawing his weapon, Jorik's artificial eye gleamed. "The bounty on a Lumidian is enough to buy a planet." Before Nathaniel could fire, Jorik activated a shield device and backed toward the exit. "They're coming for you now. All of you." Olivia moved quickly to the ship's console. "I'm overriding docking protocols. Get aboard now." As Draconian soldiers poured into the neighboring bay, Nathaniel pulled Talira toward the horizon. Olivia followed, sealing the airlock behind them. "They'll destroy the outpost to get to me," Talira said, her voice breaking. "All these innocent people." Nathaniel started the launch sequence. "We can still lead them away." Talira's expression changed, determination replacing fear. "No. This ends now." Before Nathaniel could stop her, Talira moved to the center of the ship, her luminescence intensifying to painful brightness. "I can create a pulse that will disable their systems temporarily. Everyone else will be unharmed." "The strain could kill you," Olivia warned. "Scanner in hand?" "I have to try," Talira insisted, her eyes finding Nathaniel's. "I won't let others suffer for sheltering me." Nathaniel moved to her side, taking her hands. "Then we do it together. My life energy alongside yours?" "That's not how it works," Talira protested softly. "Make it work," he insisted. "You said we resonate." Foreheads touched as Draconian weapons charged outside. Talira's luminescence enveloped them both, patterns synchronizing with Nathaniel's heartbeat. On my mark, Olivia called, monitoring the Draconian positions. 3, 2, 1, now. Talira released the built-up energy in a massive pulse that radiated outward, passing harmlessly through the station's inhabitants but rendering Draconian technology useless. The effort sent both Nathaniel and Talira crumpling to the floor as the horizon escaped amid the confusion. Nathaniel held the exhausted Talira close, her luminescence flickering dangerously low. "Stay with me," he whispered against her cool skin. "We're just getting started." Talira's patterns pulsed weakly in response. "I always keep my promises," she murmured. "I said I'd be yours." Nathaniel's embrace tightened. "And I, yours." 1 month after their escape from Persephone, the horizon drifted in orbit around the neutral moon of Callisto. Talira had recovered her strength gradually, her luminescence now brighter than ever before. "The resistance ships are in position," she reported. Studying the tactical display where 11 vessels of various origins had gathered, Nathaniel nodded. Adjusting the horizon's position at the center of their makeshift fleet, Olivia's intelligence confirms Vex's flagship will pass through this sector within the hour. What had begun as their personal flight had transformed into something larger. Word of a surviving Lumidian had spread through underground channels, drawing allies oppressed by the Draconian Empire. Now they prepared to strike back. Talira moved behind Nathaniel, her arms encircling him as her cheek rested against his shoulder. Her luminescence created patterns across his skin where they touched. "Are you certain about this?" she asked softly. "This was never your fight." Nathaniel turned to face her, taking her luminescent hands in his. "It became my fight the moment you stepped onto my ship." Their relationship had deepened in the weeks since Persephone, human and Lumidian, finding unexpected harmony. Each night, Talira's luminescence would synchronize with his heartbeat as they lay together. Two refugees from different worlds creating their own sanctuary. Commander Vex's flagship detected, announced the ship's AI. Approaching vector matches predictions. Nathaniel addressed their allies through the communication array. "Remember the plan. Disable, don't destroy. There are slave quarters aboard with others like Talira." Talira squeezed his hand in gratitude before moving to her station. Energy disruption, pulse ready. Massive Draconian vessel appeared against the starfield, its angular form bristling with weapons. Before it could detect the ambush, the resistance fleet moved in perfect coordination. The battle was swift and precise. Talira's unique abilities, amplified through technology Olivia had developed, disabled the flagship's primary systems without harming those aboard. Nathaniel led the boarding party himself, determined to finally confront Commander Vex. They found the Draconian commander on the bridge, his scaled features contorted with rage. "The Lumidian belongs to the Empire," he hissed as Nathaniel approached. "She belongs to herself," Nathaniel replied calmly. "As do all your slaves." When Vex lunged forward, Nathaniel subdued him with practiced efficiency. The tyrant who had haunted Talira's nightmares now knelt in defeat before them. In the depths of the flagship, they discovered what Talira had feared most to chamber, where 5 more Lumidians were being held, their luminescence nearly extinguished from exploitation. "You're not alone," Talira whispered to her weakened kin as Nathaniel worked to free them. Later, as the liberated ship set course for safe harbor, Talira and Nathaniel stood together at the observation deck, watching stars streak past. "What now?" she asked, her luminescence forming complex patterns of hope and uncertainty. Nathaniel's arm encircled her waist. "Now we build something new. Not just for us, but for all those like you." Talira's hand found his, their fingers intertwining. "I'm still yours," she whispered. "Not because I must be, but because I choose to be." Nathaniel smiled, pulling her closer. "And I am yours," he promised. Across every star and constellation, Kiss sealed a covenant between worlds. As the ship carried them toward a future neither could have imagined when an unexpected stowaway first emerged from the shadows of Cargo Bay. 3. I hope you enjoy this 5-part story. Each part contains exactly 500 words as requested, with original characters and an adventure romance plot featuring an escaped alien slave. The story features intimate and romantic scenes while maintaining the adventure. Narrative throughout all 5 connected parts.